Very good morning. It's Penuel, the Black Pen, greeting you from the very beautiful city of Durban, eThekwini, Phansi Kakasini. I just want to share a few thoughts on the memorial service of Kiernan, as we heard, Kiernan, Jarryd, aka Forbes, that basically a lot of us were watching yesterday evening. Just a few thoughts from my side. The first one is the immense love that AKA had, and I think it came through very loudly in the memorial service yesterday. Everyone that spoke, I think JR spoke very well, Younger Chief spoke well. Shout out to Sizwe Dlomo for giving a history of hip hop in South Africa, and I think the challenge is now on him to actually sit down and actually document South African hip hop history properly in maybe a 1 hour segment with clips of some of the people who are speaking about Prophets of the City, Squatter Camp, Ammunition, and everyone who's literally gotten hip hop to where it is today. And of course, AKA, and even someone like Casper Nyovest, who commercialized hip hop at the highest level for South Africa. So many of us were so happy to see Lynn Forbes and Tony Forbes, the parents of AKA, singing, laughing, rapping his songs word for word. And just to see the beauty of parents that are hands-on, parents that are intentional, parents that support and love their children. It must have been so much easier for AKA to have an amazing career knowing that your parents believe in what you're doing. Some of the members of Entity, or well, one of the members of Entity that ended up having to leave the group from high school, basically said his parents didn't want him to do hip-hop. I know sitting with Usizwe Mpofu Walsh on the panel show, he's spoken about this as well, that look, some of the parents were like, we didn't send you to good schools to go become rappers. So for the fact that Kiernan's parents were happy to push makes me very happy, and I think it's a lesson for all of us as parents that once your child has a dream, it's up to you to try and capacitate and help them make that dream a reality. It was beautiful for a lot of people for the first time to be introduced to Sim Dope. They thought Sim Dope was just a really cool term that AKA used, but Sim Dope is actually the son of billionaire Robert Gumede, Usimpiwe Gumede, who went to St. John's College with Kiernan as well. Shout out to the Ivy League guys. You know, Ukamza, I forgot the other gent's name. Sounds so much like Sizwe Mpofu Walsh. Them basically chronicling the story of Ivy League, the story of Entity, the story of AKA as well. Shout out to obviously Utira and Oskido. I know Oskido mentors with DJ Zinhle as well. Shout out to Oskido. I don't think any artist that has ever worked under Oskido has ever had anything bad to say about the man. He is a giant, you know. And for those of you that don't know, Oskido is Zimbabwean. You know, while you're busy pushing xenophobia, Oskido is Zimbabwean. Nadia Nakai is Zimbabwean. Someone like DJ Fresh, an amazing personality, is actually from Botswana. I'd like to think arguably the Fergusons, both of them, Connie and Shona, are also from Botswana, you know, the SADC region. And some of the amazing talent we've gotten to enjoy and learn from, and that have created opportunities for South Africans as well. So that was quite beautiful. Seeing with DJ Zinhle there, with Cairo, seeing Cairo dancing, I can imagine how many people got emotional watching little Cairo dancing there with the daughter of Pearl Tusi, because Pearl Tusi and DJ Zinhle are very close friends. Shout out to seeing their daughters playing together. Shout out to DJ Zinhle. Seeing Cairo going to comfort Nadia Nakai as she was crying. Watching Lynn Forbes saying, look, she wanted boys and her boys brought her daughters, being the other boy, her other son, Stefan's partner, I think Bridget is her name. And then with AKA, with DJ Zinhle and Nadia Nakai. In the past, obviously, it was with Bonang, his late fiance, of course, Anele Tembe, and some of the other ladies he's been involved with. I think Nicole Nyaba is another lady he's been linked with as well. And just thinking of the stress that some of these mothers have to deal with. I'm thinking of my mother. If ever I was to pass away, with the four mothers of my children maybe coming to my funeral and being like, who's allowed to speak, who's the official lady, etc., and any other females that may be in my life as well. So that was quite interesting. Seeing Tony Forbes, basically the embodiment of an old AKA. That's basically what AKA was going to look like, you know, as an old Bali. You know, to all the guys that performed as well, the LES, Kuli Chana, I think Gemini Major performed as well, KO performed. There's a bug in my eye. I want to get now. To the gents who have been working on Mass Country, AKA's new album, coming to introduce themselves. Speaking about Kiernan, man, and how he was a perfectionist, how he used to call people, like his passion for music, calling people at 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, his immense love for his child, how he believed in freedom of speech, and he was very loud and bold in his honesty. When he was pro-ANC, he was pro-ANC. He was a deep patriot and he loved South Africa. When he had issues with the ANC, he was very vocal about the ANC. He had complicated relationships, as we all do, with various people in his lives, whether it is romantic partners, whether it is people he did work with. His beef, of course, a supposed beef with Casper Nyovest, who's been sending a lot of love via social media. And yeah, man, just seeing his parents, I think seeing his grandma there as well, seeing Nadia's mom, I think DJ Zinhle's mom was there as well. Everyone there. Lynn Forbes, giving a shout out to Don Design, you know, who has been dragged a lot on social media, especially with Nota, Nkamulo Baloyi, basically claiming that he was one of the people responsible for the deaths. And her basically giving a shout out to everyone that was around AKA during the time. It was emotional, man, but it was a celebration. This was a celebration of Kiernan's life. I don't know if I'm leaving out anyone else's name, you know, but it was dope. And people got to say goodbye in a dignified way. Panyaza Lesufi was there. He spoke. I know he wanted to get state resources for the memorial service and the funeral, which President Cyril Ramaphosa didn't approve of. And questions were asked, but why did Umampi Incha and the KZN department spend 320,000 Rand on his memorial service? Guess maybe you win some, you lose some, I'm not sure. I know, like I said, AKA was one of the critics of the ANC and where it was at the moment. So I don't know if that played a part. Apparently he's going to be buried at the Heroes Walk, I think that's what it's called, at West Park Cemetery. I live around that area. Some of your favorite personalities, political leaders, business leaders are buried on the Heroes Walk there at West Park Cemetery, which is a very great and beautiful commemoration. I know AK is being buried in a private ceremony today by his family. I hope all the proceedings go accordingly. I hope they send him off in a dignified manner. I think the memorial service was beautiful, man. AKA gave us some of the biggest bangers in this country. The people he's worked with, the talent, the musicality, like classics, boy. Music we will be playing for a while. Anati. Shout out to Anati with all the music that he played as well. They gave a shout out to WHP, of course, who we lost to suicide. They gave a shout out to Ricky Rick, who we also lost to suicide. Some of the people are commenting on Twitter the power of putting your kids in great spaces. And you know, this is shout out to St. John's College as a prestigious private school in the country. Shout out to any prestigious school in the country that has given birth to so much talent. I know we speak about private schools a lot. St. John's College is down the road from King Edward School, which is a phenomenal school and one of the best schools in the country. JP Boys, public school. St. Stithians in Johannesburg, private school. There's a lot of schools, I could list them all, but private schools, public schools in the country that have given birth to immense talent. But not just the prestigious schools, man. There's a lot of unknown schools that have given birth to insane talent. I mean, some of the people that I mentioned now are not from a prestigious school, so to speak. I come from a school like Newcastle High School in KZN, which a lot of people don't know. You look at people like DJ Spoo, you don't know where he went to school. People like maybe a DJ Fresh, people like Koskido. I know Ricky Rick went to Hilton. I know WHP went to St. Albans. But you've got guys like Nasty C. You've got guys like Casper Nyovest, who dropped out of school. Questa. You know, these guys were hungry. They were pushing. Of course, Sizwe Mpofu Walsh's father is senior advocate Dali Mpofu. Sim Dope's dad is billionaire Robert Gumede. And one of the things I was saying on Twitter is, as much as their sons went to the same schools, these men have become titans. And they didn't go to prestigious schools themselves, you know. They were hungry. They were willing to position themselves in good spaces. They put in the work. There was a bit of luck, and they've become a success. But of course, they want their children to now live a better life and have better opportunities. It pushes us. I know it's part of the fight Sizwe Dlomo's had with Vusi Thembekwayo, where Sizwe Dlomo is the son of privilege, and Vusi Thembekwayo is almost self-made. And one of my criticisms was they shouldn't be fighting because Vusi Thembekwayo wants his son to become something like a Sizwe Dlomo. And a Sizwe Dlomo comes from privilege of something like a Vusi Thembekwayo. It's a matter of what do you do once you've been given a platform? How hard do you work? Because when we celebrate private school kids, there are so many that are just normal employees. So many of them that have their own struggles kind of situation. And there are so many successful people that come from prestigious public schools and from unknown public schools as well. So literally your destiny is in your hand, and you have to position yourself and put in the work and be hungry, you know. So yeah, man, I don't know if I'm forgetting anything else, but I know Teebs, I didn't even know it was pronounced Teebs. Teebs had his memorial service at Sacred Heart College on Thursday. I hope his family and his loved ones will also have a dignified send-off to Tibelo. I know you guys criticize me for pronouncing his name wrong. Tibelo, Teebs Mutswane, may he rest in peace. To Kiernan, Jarryd, aka Forbes, may you rest in peace. To all the family, friends, to everyone who's come out to celebrate these two guys, I think it was a great time to self-introspect. Spend time with your loved ones. You never know when they may pass. Try and be a good present parent. If you have children with someone who you're not with anymore, try and be mature. No matter what the drama is that's going on, try and be mature and co-parent peacefully. Shout out to DJ Zint. I mean, AK has had so much drama, being accused of drugs, all the women that he's been with, his loudness, his controversy, and in a very dignified, classy manner, she has always been an amazing co-parent with him, who is an amazing father. You know, shout out to Murder Bongs as well. Apparently his family has been very supportive to the Forbes this entire week, and due to cultural protocol, he obviously wasn't at the memorial service. But for him to also be very classy and dignified, you know, in not making a spectacle of his wife being there and being celebrated as the mother of Cairo, and Cairo being there as well, and the co-parenting that he was doing with AKA as well, you know, maturity that we need to learn from as people that are going through our own struggles. I love you guys very much. Again, wishing the Forbes family and everyone that's linked to them a dignified and classy send-off for Kiernan, aka Forbes, today. And again, may Tibelo, Teebs Mutswane also rest in peace. Paying you all the black pay and have a great and blessed day. Cheers.